What is up everyone, it's CMG here. Alright, so let us start off this Overwatch talk video with a simple question to anyone who might be watching this. Have you ever considered the possibility of an Overwatch TV series ever coming to fruition? I mean, I certainly have. Especially when we know that this game has offered us absolutely nothing in terms of the story of Overwatch for the past 5 years. I mean, there are certain heroes that are simply just a character in the game with absolutely no lore attached to them whatsoever. I mean, let's just take Zenyatta, for example. Now, for a very, very long time, Zenyatta was just a hovering monk that came from the pool. That was it. Until he finally got some story attached to him, you know, during Symmetra's Restoration Lore mini-event that came with a short story explaining the connection between himself and Symmetra. But overall, lore in Overwatch has been very scarce and very difficult to get a hold of. Whether it's these mini-events that we're getting in the game right now, the animated shorts that come out once every year, twice if we're lucky, and of course the comics that Michael Chu used to write when he was still employed at Blizzard. Now I'm sure you're aware that a couple of days ago, Keller, along with the rest of the development team for Overwatch, hosted an AMA, Ask Me Anything session on the Overwatch subreddit, where us, the community, had the opportunity of giving everybody over there a massive headache by asking them tons of questions about Overwatch 2, the current Overwatch game right now, history of development over the last 5 years, etc. Literally anything that the community felt like asking the devs. I mean, even I asked a few questions on there, only a couple though, and I didn't get any answers, so don't worry about that. Anyway, now there was a question from this AMA that stood out for me amidst everything that was asked, and it got quite a few upvotes on it, and Keller decided to go ahead and answer the question with a rather promising response, hence the reason why I decided to make this video. Now, before we start reading this question on Reddit and getting into the thick of it, I'd like to remind you all once again that if you like this idea for a video and you want to see more like this in the future, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications if you want to be notified of any videos that I decide to do in the future. So anyway, this question on Reddit was sent in by a guy named Johnny. I won't read his entire name because it's a rather long name. However, what he writes here is extremely detailed and thought out, and it covers a lot about how Overwatch lore is distributed right now, and the way Keller answers afterwards sounds extremely promising indeed. So, this is exactly what it says. One of the main selling points of Overwatch 2 is the campaign and story content, but there is a large crowd of players who either have only a very basic understanding of the lore or haven't engaged with it at all. Consequently, there has been a bit of misinformation spreading around the community about certain key points of the story. So yeah, I totally agree with this actually. The lore at the moment is completely jumbled up. I mean, you know, just because we have all of this content regarding the story of Overwatch, it doesn't mean everything is actually in order. I think this is due to the story being told outside of the game in the form of external media like comics, short stories and animations, and not being easily accessible. You kind of have to go out of your way to learn more about the world and its characters, which is not something some people are so easily willing to do. Has there ever been a plan to implement a system that could entice and better educate current, new and returning players about the Overwatch universe? Okay, now this is the response made from Keller, and it's rather interesting. Great question. We are looking at this from a few angles. The first is how to include more of this content inside of Overwatch 2 itself, either through storytelling in the game or through other systems that could contain and deliver this lore, whether it's past Overwatch or current Overwatch 2 story. Now, I'm going to stop here because I do believe I remember a video Stylosa made about maybe 2 to 3 years ago, I can't remember the name of the video, where he was complaining about the lack of live in-game happenings inside of Overwatch, and he compared this with Fortnite, where he pointed out that in Fortnite there are seasons every month, and during those seasons these live happenings were actually going on in the game, and it was kind of like telling a story. So, for example, there's like an asteroid that hits the map just at pure random, and the entire community is talking about it, asking what is this asteroid, you know, why has it changed the map in some way. Right now, that does not happen in Overwatch. In fact, the only ever time something of this magnitude has ever happened in Overwatch was, if you remember, when Orisa was announced as a hero for the game back in 2018, was it? Now, if we take the map Numbani, you know that the attack spawn of that map has an OR-14 that has been punched into the wall of the station there. Now, of course, we know that Doomfist punched that OR-14 into the wall, but of course nobody knew back then who Doomfist was at the time, because he wasn't out yet. All we could see was basically this crime scene in the game, along with a news story that Play Overwatch tweeted out, and then a few days later, Orisa was announced, I think. Now, if you've been playing Overwatch since the very beginning of the game, you will know that before this event even happened, the attack spawn on Numbani actually looked like this. Yes, that is actually a screenshot of the spawn room with no OR-14 through the wall. So ever since the new update to the game in terms of the Numbani spawn has come out, this whole area has been the same throughout the entire 5 years of Overwatch. So yeah, basically the point I'm trying to make here is hopefully with Overwatch 2, Blizzard are going to have it so that the game can start to offer us more clues as far as the story is concerned, you know, by using live in-game events and with certain updates that happen frequently for it. Blizzard will occasionally change things to certain maps to coincide with the PvE aspect of Overwatch 2, so not only will we have loads to do in terms of PvE missions, we'll be learning the story as it goes along. So let's say Big Ben on King's Row just gets blown up for whatever reason, or it disappears. The devs will have to make changes to the map accordingly, add the changes to an update, and then catch the Overwatch community off guard so that we're left asking a lot of questions about that, and it keeps us in the loop and enticed within the story, you know? But anyway, let's read the rest of the answer. The second is looking at ways of bringing people up to speed with media outside of the game. Both are really exciting, and I can't wait for people to see it. Now, these last two lines are huge, especially when Aaron Keller mentions that he can't wait for people to see it. So, does this actually mean this is confirmed then? Interesting for him to say that. But the other thing he says is about media outside of the game, and it got me thinking what that so-called media might be. And then I thought to myself, is there going to be a Netflix TV series for Overwatch coming out soon? I did mention this in a previous video. Like I said, maybe could there be a Netflix TV series at some point? Because if there is that right now, and if they are planning to do that, Blizzard, then that is absolutely huge. Now, I have a subscription to Netflix, so I would be able to watch any series that Blizzard decide to send out, and regardless of how long this might be, again, like I said with the in-game goings-on earlier, this would allow the community to learn more about the Overwatch universe and keep everybody enticed within the story. Whether it's Overwatch or Overwatch 2, it doesn't matter. We care about the heroes that we play on a regular basis, and we all want to know their backstories and the roles that they play within the universe. Otherwise, you know, what's the point in making these heroes in the first place? So yeah, in conclusion, I think this was a really good question to ask from Johnny during the AMA, and it just proves one point. There are a lot of players who care about the story aspect of Overwatch. We all play the game to compete and work our way up the ladder and improve our SR, whatever. But there are indeed a handful of us who play Overwatch, you know, just to enjoy the experience and connect with some of the heroes that we play with. And some of us get connected to such a degree that we will go extra lengths to learn about what they're like as a person. And there's no better way to understand this than through storytelling. And I hope that for Overwatch 2, the devs are willing to give us more of that, even if it means increasing the number of people that work on the game, so that they can make adjustments or even make big changes to give us all what we want to see. So yeah, what do you think of the future of Overwatch in terms of the lore? Do you think that Overwatch 2 will offer a lot more story-driven content in the future? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Remember, if you enjoyed the video and you like this idea for future videos, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications if you want to be notified of any videos that I intend to do in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out all of my social medias in the description box down below. Check out my Twitter, @ChrisModder9, and also check out my Discord server as well. Have a great day, have a great life, be nice to your fellow gamers, because we are all human beings. I have been CMG, and until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace!